Clemson and Florida State will play this coming Saturday, and the line even shocked me. I want to talk about that in just a second. Hey, before I go any farther, I'm Brian. I'm not Bobby Durkins, at least not here. I've been on vacation all week, so if you've seen me out on the front porch, or maybe you've seen like a videos from this week, it's like his thumbnails are really terrible. Not to say that they're great anyway, but it seems like he's back home. Yes, I am home. I drove back in from the beach today, saw a wreck. It was bad. It was terrible. But anyway, I'm glad to be home. Glad to go on vacation. Love spending time with the family. Note to self, the beaches are still crowded, even though the season is over, but I am back. Hey, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button. If you have been watching for a long time, but you've never subscribed, you have no clue how important it is to subscribe and help out a small channel like mine. My channel actually has been growing a lot, and it's because a lot of people has been just kind enough to hit the subscribe button. And it's free. If you want to support on a monthly basis, you can do that for either $3 or $5 per month. You won't even notice that. You won't even notice that. Parker Henderson's already joined. He's been in here. Still Gamble. Grafnar is in here right now. Grafnar, he joined, and he said it was so easy, he would have done it 5 times over had he realized how easy it was. But anyway, you can join, and I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. Or super thanks. So the line opened up, and I'm going to show you this. I'm using ESPN. I'm not a fan of everything ESPN. Not everything that ESPN does is bad. There's stuff that just drives me crazy, but I'm going to try to focus on the good. I'm back from vacation. I should be relaxed. All right? I should be okay. I should be. I didn't say I am. All right? So, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you the spread. Folks, I was shocked. I was flipping shocked when I saw this spread. I went downstairs to my son, my oldest. So I have 2 sons. I have a 17-year-old. I have a 7-year-old. Yes, 17 and 7. What's interesting about that is I have very different conversations between the 2 of them of what they should and should not do. And then sometimes I have the same conversation of what they should and should not do. So yeah, if you're a parent, if you know, you know. I'm gonna scroll you down there. Look at that. I thought Florida State would be like a 7 to 10 point favorite. Look right above my head up there. Right above my head. Line 1.5 points. Folks, can I tell you what that means in favorites? That means that they're not too like convinced that Clemson's just going to lay down and die. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you that I still lean towards, and I'm happy my Tiger. I know some Clemson fans, you're getting all torqued up, you're all fired up, you're all ready, you're like, oh, yeah. But I still lean towards Florida State winning this game. Has Clemson improved? Yes. Did Florida State almost wet the bed against Boston College yesterday? Yes. Could they have been looking forward to next week, which is this coming game? Yes. But they almost lost the game. John Setton. Hey, John. John joined the channel as well. John, thank you so much for supporting the Not Bobby Durkins channel. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate you supporting the channel. Folks, listen to me. Now I'm going to pause right here, and I'm going to shut up after this. I did get a sponsor, and I'm going to be talking about them here in just a second. But when you're listening to your radio shows, and you're listening to these shows, on especially Tiger Network or any radio show, they have what's called sponsors. They have support. That's how they do what they do. Another one just showed up here, Parker Henderson, someone that supports the channel. Been a great friend. He and his brother has been a great friend to the show. But he supports the show, and I appreciate it. But folks, I want to tell you right now, that those people that you listen to, they receive a lot of support, and it's by their sponsor. They pay out the butt. I just got my first sponsor, and it's not like that whatsoever. I'm glad that we just struck a deal with sponsorship. I'll be talking about them in just a second. They're great. They're fantastic. I believe in their product. I believe in what they're doing, or else I wouldn't have them on here. When you listen to people on the radio, you watch them on TV, they have sponsors. That's also the reason why they don't say certain things, even if they feel different than what they say, is because the sponsors can come in and pull the money strings. Okay. So I appreciate your support. Going back to this, and then I will talk about the sponsor here in just a second. B Bean wants to know, is it Bud Light? No, it is far from Bud Light. Florida State struggled yesterday. They come off of an emotional win, big, massive win against LSU. They went out, beat the crap out of Southern Miss. Then they go up to Boston College. Jeff Hafley, I think, is a really good coach. I really, really do. And they didn't have all this transfer portal talent. They went out and gave Florida State all they could handle. Clemson turns around, plays Florida Atlantic, the Fighting Tom Hermans. I like Tom Herman. I think he's a good coach. I don't know him personally. He could be an awful person for all I know. But so far, what I've seen out of him, I like him. And this guy, listen to me, this guy came out, did what he did in the first half, was down 34-0, gave what I think a fantastic speech at halftime, if what he told the sideline reporter was true, and told him, listen, you've got to play for people who are watching this game, who is seeing you right now. You got to play for your team. You got to play blah, 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 blah. And they came out, held Clemson to 14 points. They scored 14 points. And B Bean says Herman was not a good coach at Texas. Who has been a good coach at Texas? It's taken Sark this long. I mean, they've cycled through a bunch of coaches. And now we're getting set up for this week. Tiger Man, thank you so much for supporting the channel. I appreciate your donation. I'm your next best friend. Go Tigers. Yeah, what Tiger Man. I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and being a friend, because it does help and it is appreciated. So thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you so much. Clemson is a 1.5 point underdog. Now, I'm going to tell you this. There's a lot of people who has been reaching out to me, either through text. I talked to a cousin of mine yesterday. He might even be watching. I don't know if he's watching or not. And you know what he said? He's a bit of a pessimist. He's kind of like yours truly. And you know what? You know what he said? He said, I believe we're going to beat Florida State. I talked to the Henderson sisters. The Henderson sisters. Now, Chase and Parker are brothers. They're good friends. They're pals of mine. We agree. We disagree at times. Folks, do you realize you can still be friends with people and disagree with them? You can have totally different opinions about something. I know that society tells us you can't be friends with someone that you disagree with, even firmly disagree with, but you can. Unless it's something weird like, I don't know, killing someone. That's a deal breaker. But they're telling me they believe that Florida State will be handed a loss by Clemson. I go up here in the comments section. I'm looking down through here. John Seddon says, I am the only person in America that has been calling a Tiger win over FSU since the Duke loss. Got a gut feeling that the 81,000, I think we're now what, 85,000? People are going to make a huge difference. It says 81,500. I thought we expanded to 85,000. Maybe I'm wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. But, John, you're not the only person in America right now. Now, maybe since the Duke loss, maybe you do have that. But, folks, more and more people are believing in Clemson. More and more people sat and watched Florida State and said, you know what? I think that they were ready for that big showdown against LSU. I think that they were ready to neutralize them in front of a captive crowd on a Sunday night. And they did it. Keon Coleman looked amazing. Jaheim Bell looked like a beast. Jaheim Bell can ball. But I'm telling you, folks, they might have been looking to next week. Now, what was I excited about yesterday? I was excited about the pick six by Nate Wiggins. I love that Nate Wiggins, last year, after he got smoked by Wake Forest, he didn't go blame the coaches. He didn't go blame opportunity. He didn't blame his little toe for having a hangnail. He didn't hit the transfer portal. He didn't blame it on him and his girlfriend or whatever. Wife, I don't know. I don't know if he's married. He can be married. Who cares? He might have 4 girlfriends down there. He turned around and played his butt off the rest of the season. But yesterday he had a pick six, took it to the house. Florida Atlantic or not, that's still fun. But when you step back and you look at this, I mean, 1.5 points, 1.5 points, that's basically nothing, folks. That is basically nothing. Donald Walker says, love the show. Go Tigers. Donald Walker, thank you for supporting the show. I really appreciate it, my friend. It means a lot to me. Humus Hero says, I feel like this game is huge for Clemson. If they lose it, it could be a downward spiral. If they win it, it could revitalize the perception and morale of the program. Yeah. Yeah. Eric Odom is guaranteeing you will lose against Florida State. I wonder who you pull for, Eric. Going through here, Tony Adcock. Hey, brother, going to be hard. Phil, our Tigers will find a way to spot the darn FSU 14 points. That's what I'm afraid of. Cohen Pope says, hey, listen, after last night, I feel like I'm convinced we can win after last night. Now, I'm going to pull this schematic back up in just a second, but I'm going to go back to full screen here. I am a person who is hard on myself. I'm hard on myself. I try not to be too hard on my sons. I try to point them in a direction. I try to challenge them. Because there's no one who will love them more than I will love them. Me or my wife will love them. So if I really love them, I want to challenge them. I don't want to beat them down. I also don't want to underprepare them or coddle them. I want to prepare them. As I said, 117, 17, the challenge is different for each. Some days it feels like the same challenge. If you know, you know. But that starts with honesty. You can't fix a problem if you're not honest with yourself. And I'm going to be honest with you. Clemson has shown me progression since the Duke loss. Of course, they're getting the beginning of the season rust off of them. They've already had one beat down. in front of about 25 people in Durham, North Carolina, and then a bunch of people on TV. But the beatdown still happened. They couldn't finish. If they would have finished, no, they didn't. I know some of you who's loving the trash talk. Hey, I'm there with you. If is a big word. It's a big word with 2 letters. But they didn't. They got their tail handed to them. So far, it seems like they're progressing. But the point in all of this, and me going on this ramble, I said this to Texas. If you're really good, and you're not like the other 13 years now, prove it to me. I know Lindy's and Athlon and all of these preseason polls for the past 10 years has told me that you're black. Remember that? They were not. The guy who was coaching them at the time they were black was coaching Florida Atlantic last night. They were not back. How many times has Michigan wet the bed and not been back? How many times has Miami wet the bed and not been back? We could keep going with certain teams who had unbelievable talent and still blew it. I say this to my Tigers. I'm pulling for you, and I'm pulling for you hard. I want to see the ship right. I want to see the crap that's been going on fixed. And I had somebody come on here going, if there's anybody that cares at Sim, and they care way more than you. Really? Okay. I get it. I get it. But I will challenge your thinking. Then I'm going to get back to the comment section. Then I'm going to close this sucker down. I've been pulling for Clemson since Ken Hatfield. Technically, I was pulling for him before then. Let me rephrase that. I've been paying attention to Clemson since Ken Hatfield. That's a long time. Cade Klubnik wasn't even born then. Pulling for you, dude. Not knocking you. Pulling for you, man. You were one of the most ill-prepared quarterbacks by our coaching staff in the past 10 years with Dabo Swinney. I feel sorry for you. That you're doing what you're doing is a miracle. Leave Cade alone, folks. But I've been pulling for Clemson since the vast majority of the football team, well, all of them, since before they were alive. And a lot of those boys could have went to other schools and they'd have been a Buckeye or they'd have been a Bulldog or they would have been a whatever. I've been a Tiger for well, as long as I can remember. And the coach, some of you're taking up for the coaches. All they have to do, and rightfully so, is somebody has to come along, wave enough money in front of their face. They're no longer a Clemson Tiger. So before you come on my channel acting like I don't even know what to say. You sound like a yes man is what you sound like. You sound like someone that if one of the coaches from Clemson killed somebody, you go, hey, where you want me to hide the bodies? Go Clemson. That's not a fan. That's a cult member. So, but I'm going to tell you, Clemson, you're going to have to prove it to me. I said all of that to say this. You're going to have to prove it to me. I'm pulling for you at 12 o'clock on Saturday. I am pulling for you, my friend. I hope you beat Florida State. I still lean towards they're going to beat you because you still have to show me that you have more stuff worked out other than beating up on Charleston Southern in the second half. Not Charleston's. Yeah, Charleston Southern. The other day I said Georgia Southern, and I meant Charleston Southern. You beat up on a Florida Atlantic team in the first half. In the second half, you totally laid down. Didn't give a care anymore. Got stopped. 3 and out, multiple times. I am pulling for you, but I am being a realist. Just like I told Tennessee fans, hey, listen, I like Tennessee. Love the Knoxville area. Have no problem with the Volunteers. Joe Milton he's not going to be the man y'all think he's going to be because he can't keep a starting job no matter where he go. Oh, man, he could flip by the power of he farted the other day and the ball shot out of his hand 73 yards. He wasn't even trying. Yep. How'd that work out at Gainesville last night? Yeah, I told you. I didn't mean that I wanted to tell you. That didn't mean that I was trying to be a jerk and tell you that you shouldn't be pulling for your team. I'm just telling you, the guy who's running, he doesn't know what he's doing. And Josh Heupel is in a corner because he's got a true freshman that's a 5-star who's unbelievable. But do you really want to sick him? Throw him out there to the dogs to get beat up, possibly get hurt, maybe even get morale down on this kid? Or just go ahead and let Joe finish out the season. I told you. The Bulldogs struggle yesterday. I told you, Bobo is not what you thought he was. SEC Dog said he agreed with me. An SEC Dog talks mad trash all the time. And he was like, you nailed it. And he nailed it too because he called it. Clemson, you're going to have to prove it to me. I hope you win Saturday. I hope you've got your problems worked out. I'm a real fan because I'll tell you the truth. I'm a real fan because I'll say you've got to protect the quarterback better. You got to take more shots downfield. You got to stop being so scared. I'm going to get to the comment section. I'm going to shut this down. Phil Stevens, if it were a not kick, I'd give it to Clemson, but at noon kickoff, it's going to be a toss-up. Yeah, I found that interesting that it's not at least a 3:30 game. That's got to be a contract. That's got to be a contract. Cole Turner is hurt, Cohen. I know that a lot of people put a lot on his shoulders and thought he was going to be the net. I hope he's better, and he is a talented player. But the players who needs to be getting the ball, that what we've seen so far. Now, we did see a ridiculous drop by Bo Collins, who I'm big on Bo Collins. But we need to be getting the ball to Bo Collins, Antonio Williams. Tyler Brown has just blown up. Adam Randall has had some good catches. Brenning Stoll, he had some really good catches, or a good catch yesterday. We need to be getting the ball out to them. No offense to Cole. Cole's a talented guy. These other guys, they're home run hitters. You need to focus on them. Tiger Paul Craven, I was about to text you and ask you if you wanted to do a show tonight. You have my number, my friend. Text me. Let me know what you can do this week. Because we need to get together. Talk to Jordan as well. See, I'm scheduling while I'm doing a live show. Big Red said Clemson's got to shore up that secondary if they have a chance of containing Florida State passing attack. I will tell you this. In the second half, you saw a receiver break past the secondary of Clemson. I can't remember if our starters were still in. Y'all forgive me for that. But it did happen, and he beat them by about 10 yards. Had the pass been there, yeah. It's crazy. B-Bean, only 25 people. I'm being a sarcastic jerk, my friend. John Sutton said, if and when we do pull this off, we better not think we've arrived. No, this is not the time for Clemson to get cocky. You still have to play Notre Dame, who is looking fantastic. You still have to play NC State, who's always a problem. Miami seems to be playing good football right now. And South Carolina, I'm just telling you, South Carolina's coming for Clemson this year. I don't care if they lost yesterday. I don't care if they did lose to UNC. Shane Beamer knows a big game to win is the rivalry game. Grafnar. Miami's 1983 started worse. Huh? That's true. Jeremy Eubanks. I think we pull it off 24-21. Jeremy, are you a Clemson fan? Please forgive me for asking that question, but are you? I believe FSU will be prepared. We have seen their upside, and it is scary. What makes y'all think they won't do it to us? Yes, they looked bad yesterday, but they have some playmakers. See, that's the thing for me. As I'm looking going, I mean, they might have been looking forward. That has happened, just over and over in college football. They have the playmakers. Listen to me, folks. Norvell is tired of Clemson. Norvell, however you pronounce his name. The guy who coaches Florida State is tired of living in the shadow. And by the way, this is his time to take over. I would revoke the scholarship if our kicker misses another short field goal. You remember the other one was blocked, my friend, but I know what you're talking about. He's missed some kicks. Parker Henderson with a tongue in cheek, my friend. Our kicker has a strong leg, but the accuracy of a blind liberal. Oh, you know how to put the knife in and turn it. Just going down through here. VLC Clemson will beat Florida State in a close game. B Bean wants comments on Colorado. I might. I don't know. I'll talk about them in just a second. Tiger Paul Craven says yes. Yes. Hey, listen, folks, if you have not, listen to me, if you have not subscribed to the show, please subscribe to the show. You're like, why does he bring this up? My analytics, which, believe it or not, I read, it's almost like I want the channel to do well, says that people are consistently watching me. It's like right now, I just did an impromptu show. I've already got 75 people watching me right now. You got 75 people. Yeah, for a show that has, or a channel that has like 2,000 subscribers, that's incredible. The night of the Clemson loss to Duke, I had like 650 people watching me, and it was huge. It was huge. Like, there's a lot of channels that are much bigger than mine that doesn't get that. In fact, I had a few comments that were sent to me publicly and privately going, dude, that was outrageous. And yes, it was outrageous. And I appreciate everybody. But hey, if you're watching and you're not subscribed, if you want to help me for free, help the channel, help me, help you, subscribe. That's a big deal. Also, if you want to support the channel on a monthly basis, there's a $3 tier, a $5 tier. What's the difference? $3 or $5. Okay. I'm not going to come over to your house and, do your laundry if you go for the $5 tier, but it's really, really affordable. Trust me, I know what it's like to be on a really tight budget or just trying to keep down expenses. Inflation's awful. This is a way to do it. You won't even notice it. Also, I'll throw this out here. Parker Henderson, Still Gamble, John Setton, Grafnar, my buddy down in Charleston. They've already joined, and they said it was easy as easy can be. So anyway, thank you guys for supporting the channel. So if you want to do that, or a super thanks here, as you've already seen tonight. Big news. The channel has received its first sponsor. Now, I'm very careful about sponsors, and I'm going to tell you why. Please stick with me. There's 69 people in here. Please don't leave. Stick with me here. Sponsorship has ruined media and society because it puts, if a person has a certain opinion and you spill that opinion and then the sponsors disagree with it, they pull your sponsorship and you lose your show. All right. I do this out of my bonus room home office. Okay. I work from home. So when I do a show, it's on my break. If I have a slow day, I'll do a show. Okay. I have no sponsors. One of the reasons that I'm able to easily criticize Clemson when they're doing something stupid is because I don't have people pulling my strings. And I'm going to tell you this. I hate it when people pull my strings because they want me to tell a lie. Or it's not necessarily a lie. It's just a different point of view. It's a lie. So I'm very particular about this, but I have a new sponsor. And I'm going to read this verbatim. We still haven't worked this all out completely, but I want to tell you about them. 4 Putt Carts provides beverage and snack service to golf courses that either don't provide it. It's because, they don't have a clubhouse, all that much of stuff, or they have a clubhouse and they don't have the means to go out and, spread it out. How many times have you been on the golf course? And you're like, man, you know what? I sure would like a drink right now. Or I'd like some snack. I don't want to go all the way back to why don't they have a golf cart here coming around, a cart service? 4 Putt Carts fixes that for you. Also, maybe you have cart service, but you have a tournament coming up and you don't have enough carts. You need to hit up 4 Putt Carts. They are killing it. this coming Tuesday, they are actually providing service for a celebrity golf tournament. So that's a big deal. If you want to know more about them, please come back to me, send me a message. They're a new company, but they're already stirring up. I mean, the city of Atlanta is going to be working with them. City of Macon's going to be working with them, folks. It's ridiculous with their golf courses. So that tells you they are not only on the right track, they're taking off. They are really, really taking off. So, 4Putt cart service, they are the sponsors, and we do appreciate it. Thank you. I say me. We're Bobby Durkins. Right, booger? Want a beer? Ice cold beer. So I do appreciate that. Closing this down, I'm going to be talking about Florida State a lot this week, as I should be, and you should be. The nation is watching this game and one other game, Notre Dame and Ohio State. And that will be an incredible game in itself. I have opinions on that, but I'm not talking about that game right now. And then everybody's watching Florida State and Clemson. People are rubbing their fingers together going, I hope that Clemson is finally done. They're doing that in Tuscaloosa. I'm far from an Alabama fan. What Saban has done, people are not doing it in a sense of, oh, I just hope he goes down. They're tired of having to contend and recruit against Nick Saban. They're tired of having to recruit against Clemson. They're tired of having to go against it. They're watching this game going, please, for the love of anything that is sacred, don't make me have to keep contending with these guys. Now, Clemson's been on a slide. I've talked about it. Clemson fans don't want to admit it. It's been a slide. And every year we get farther and farther away from 2018. Aren't we? Yeah. Before you know it, things don't change. We're going to be 8-4 and 10 years away. And you're going, how did that happen? Slowly but surely. This is a way for Clemson to prove that they still have the fire. I'm not talking about the players. I'm talking about the coaches. I'm calling these well-paid men out. I don't care where you played. I don't care if you played in the pros. I don't care what you've done in the past. You are paid to do a job today. I'm on a job to where they appreciate what I did in the past, but I still have to produce today. That doesn't change for you. And you're paid more than everybody, almost everybody, who will fill that stadium and watch on TV. And then you get pissed off and get your underwear in a wad when we call you out for it. One thing I will hand Nick Saban is when Nick Saban had to hear about the criticism from his fan base about the loss to Texas, what did he say? They should be upset, and they should be upset at me. Love him or hate him, he nailed it. He was right. And I hope that our Tigers, I hope that our coaches will come out and prove that they have that want. Because I believe the players want it. I believe the players want it. I'm not going to put this on the players. I put it on the 30 and 40 and 50, 60-year-old men that is coaching on that sideline. It is your job to pull it together. Those players are only responding to what you do. And your direction and your scheme and your preparation. I'm not going to you're right. I am pulling for Clemson. I'm not putting it on the players. I'm putting it on you. Just like I told Texas, if you're back, prove it, baby. I say it to you, Clemson. Coaches, if you really do care about winning, and it's not just about doing it your way, prove it. And this is the game to do it. Hope Clemson wins. I'll be talking about this game a lot. Going to try to get some guests on this week. Hey, folks, if you do what I do, you're on YouTube, and you have those big weeks, the Clemson versus Florida States, the Clemson versus Notre Dame's, the Clemson versus South Carolina's. It's a busy time. You can ask Tiger Paul Craven. You can ask Mark Rogers. You can ask Pigskin Pete. It gets so busy before you know it. You're sitting there at 12 o'clock on Saturday going, where am I at? Am I wearing pants? This is a big week, folks. I'm pulling for my Tigers. I hope you are too. Folks, thank you so much for joining me. Still Gamble. You joined and you still supported the channel, even on top of that. New Trail of Tears this week, Brian. 31-24. I get what you're saying there. $2. Thank you so much for the $2 donation. I really, really do appreciate it. And thank you for joining, folks. If you want, to support the channel for free, hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. And guess what? Hit the subscribe button. Turn on the notifications. Hit the thumbs up. Also, if you want to support on a monthly basis, it's either $3 or a $5 tier. There's no difference between them. It's just whether you want to, support $3 per month, $5 per month. Either way, I appreciate it. Folks, I'm going to be talking about Clemson, Florida State a lot. Might try to get in some Notre Dame and Ohio State. I know most of you don't care about it, but folks, I'm telling you, that's a big game. That's a big game. It's a really, really big game. But anyway, y'all be good. I might do a show right after this just to talk about this past weekend and what it means for the upcoming week. Y'all take care of yourself. I appreciate you. Hope you'll see me in just a second. Y'all take care. Go Tigers.